Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Thank you so much to everybody for all the replays. I've been having tons of them sent in to me recently. They've been coming in at a rate of knots. It's very much appreciated. It means I don't have to search half as hard to find decent ones. Like I say, guys, I promise whatever replay gets sent my way, I will always promise to look at it. Can't promise to cast it, but with to that effect, I should say. Could you please make sure, if you haven't watched the previous cast where I've mentioned this, make sure that you skim through the replay on +10 first of all before you send it to me. I always skim through them, like I say, first to make sure they're cast worthy, and sometimes they haven't been checked by the person who sent them to me, and 5 or 10 minutes before the end it'll desync. That will ruin my day, because I could be thinking a replay was amazing, awesome, getting very excited about casting it. I need to find out that I've wasted a little bit of time, and then I have to take more medication, and then my doctor gets upset, and you know how it is. So if you could do that, that would be a maze. On to today's game. I have an average Joe's for you guys and girls today, because you've been so well behaved. It's going to take place on Lost Paradise 3. Players are gating in as we speak, so let's head on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Of course, Lost Paradise 3, done a couple of casts on this already, but I don't think I've actually done, I've only done 1v1s, I don't think I've done full-on 4v4, so this should be interesting. Let's take a look at the teams and their locations to start with. Team 1 down here, we'll call it, and Team 2 up here, purely because I always think left to right beats up and down. And taking a look at the starting locations, so bring up this little thing that I like to do every now and again, show you who's where. Down here in the yellow corner, team member number 1 for Team 1. I'm going to call him the Carpenter or something similar. He's down here, he's going Aeon, and he's opening first air, so could potentially get some early bomber action on from him as he's working on the rear guard spot. Might be going for some early harassment, I have to look out for that. Up here in the orange corner, we have Thorimo, and he's going Cybrin, opening first land. A couple of P-gens, all very standard. And then team member number 3 for Team 1. Up here we have Aurora going classic blue UEF, deep blue, ocean blue, electric blue, whatever you might call it. Opening first land, all very standard. And then last but not least for Team 1 in breast cancer awareness pink, we have Sphinx. He's going Seraphim, opening first land, second land as well. Currently going for a wander with his ACU. Looks like he's going to go up that middle trench to try and secure some territory. Can't really see that through the scale, but he's coming down here. That's going to be his route. Anyway, taking a look at Team 2 up here in the rear guard position, we have Chris Durrell. Going to call him Chris, I guess, because it's easier. He's going green Cybrin, opening first land, so we're not going to see any early bomber work from him, not initially. Taking a slightly different tactic to his mirror on the other side of the map. And then we've got Derely down here in sports car red, going Cybrin, the classic colour, opening first land, second air. It's going to get a decent mix on of units in the Nook, probably a decent idea. And then team member number 3 for Team 2 down here is, I guess that's supposed to be Koeki Monster, but I'm going to call him Cookie Monster because, let's face it, it's easier. He's going a grey, John Major grey, UEF. He's going first land. He's going to get a little bit of land spam on subsequently. And last but not least, up here, going baby blue Cybrin, is Jukleli, or Jukleli. Jukleli? Jukleli. That's what we're going to call it. That's a mouthful, isn't it? And he's opened first land up here. And he's expanded down here with his ACU. So that is the teams and how they shape up. Decent little force on the left here. Seem to be mech marines pushing up from Aurora. Going to be contesting that mass point up here, but look how far forward Sphinx is already with his ACU, like I say, trying to grab some early map control to secure this trench. But that's what's interesting about this right hand side of the map, is these two different trenches. Often you get sort of different wars or different progressions in these little battles down these two trenches. Makes for an interesting little place. But we've got very nice early work from Sphinx. Got a Tham and a Selen here, and another one here, and that's already got a Mex and an Engineer kill to its name. It's now going to park up over here. Bomber flies overhead and actually stops there. He's probably going to use that defensively. There's a few units of build capacity he could be going after should he want to, although I think there's a couple of Mantis closing in on this little cheeky Engineer denial group here. indeed they are. Selene advances to engage. Very poor decision-making abilities there. Bomber comes in to finish off the Tham. Selene goes down not long after. And the Mech Marines pushing up to help secure this mass point, but not committing to it too hard. It's actually another engineer coming in for Jagleli. He's going to be putting down some PD, I think, although he's waiting for the moment and promptly recycles an engineer coming in from Aurora. So actually the PD that was going down was from Aurora's engineer. Nice little bit of waiting there from Jagleli. He did have a mole in the area, so probably would have seen it approaching, waited to make his move. An engineer very high up in the hills. Has he actually scaled that? I don't know whether or not that's actually scalable, or has that been dropped? Surely that must be scalable. It's coming all the way over from Derrily. I'm not seeing any transport ships or anything like that, but it's an interesting little ridge down the middle. If you can get control of it early on, it can give you some pretty good territory or places for a fire base later on. We've got an early naval factory as well out for the Carpenter, but he's not currently building any. Actually, he is. Sorry, he's building one frigate at the moment, I believe, but hasn't got any out to his name as yet, whereas his mirror up here at the top, Chris, he's completely avoiding the naval game to start with, and now seems to be focusing a little bit more heavily on the air game. He's going to be getting 4 air factories flanking that hydrocarbon to get the adjacency bonus as best he can, but now it looks like Jagleli is making a little bit of a push. He's got his ACU right up front and a bunch of Mantis in there to support, so a little bit of a standoff happening here. Over on the left-hand side, air fracas going on, and in the middle, a nice bomb landing right on top of a group of Mantis here for Thorimo. Nice grab from Durelli. Doesn't actually make it out though, because there are too many interceptors out from the Carpenter guarding this middle section. And now it looks like there's a little bit of a push happening up top. Jagleli moving forward with his Mantis and his ACU, forcing Aurora back slightly, and of course a large proportion of these units are Mech Marines, not going to stand up toe-to-toe in a regular fight very well. So definitely outgunned for the moment. He's going to move back. I shouldn't think he'll have any energy storage up just yet, taking away the option for any kind of overcharging. Now a little bit of a push from the Sphinx coming up the middle. A few Zuis in the mix as well, just snagging a couple of these strikers that are in pursuit. Bit of micro here and there. Go and miss, but also closing in on a couple of engineers. Derrily could do with moving those away, in which he's going to, but the Thams, I think, have caught them. Certainly one goes down, the second one not soon to follow, or not long after it, I should say. Could do with grabbing this mech. There are a couple of strikers coming in now from Cookie Monster to cut down those Thams. The mechs does go down. Incidentally, apologies about the green Allied chat. It's probably the worst map in the world to have green chat on. Not the easiest thing to see what they're saying, but you'll just have to bear with me for now. A nice place for a triad there from Cookie Monster. Somehow is clearing the relief on that land and still connecting with some of these troops from Sphinx, but they are making a run by around the right hand side. It's the only one that's in place. No protection at all around the back, and there's a lot of vulnerable build capacity in the middle that he could do with picking up, although there's a bunch of strikers and Lobos moving across the middle of that base now. But I think if he engaged at the same time, he could grab that, and that would really slow down Cookie Monster's growth on this. A hell of a lot of air in the map, though, now in the middle from Chris. A few Jesters, but lots of interceptors as well. Looks like he's deploying them over to the right-hand side of the map to help with this nice little run-by that Sphinx has managed. Crawling up the right-hand side. Going to grab this Mex and also this Engineer as well, I think. Down it goes. So beautiful work. Look at all the mass points that have been deprived down this right-hand side from Sphinx's attacks. Very nice indeed. But look at this Turtle Heaven from Jagleli. He's already got shield up. He's got 3 Cerberus turrets in place. Now a Zapper to prevent it from tactical missile attacks or any kind of mobile missile launcher. Aurora for the moment is static as his commander is currently in the middle of an upgrade. It's on the left arm. So I think that's probably going to be the T2 engineering suite. It's going to get involved in some kind of entrenchment war. We'll generally point to the advantage being UEF, but of course he is behind on that front, and also he's outgunned. He's got nothing protecting the left-hand side as a huge quantity of troops from Jagleli pour in Commander anchored, not going to finish that upgrade, had to cancel it to bring it into Defender's base, so it's a large portion of mass wasted, and that will be very painful indeed. Take a look at that Commander and what he's got on it. If I can actually click on the right guy, there we go. But a bunch of Renegades coming in from Thorimo as well to help. That is at least something. So yeah, no upgrades on the Commander at all for Aurora. He has very little base left to work with, and Aurora, in disgust, quits out early on. He's going to go down. Now there's a huge gap on this left-hand side of the map. Just 11 minutes, so very early pressure forces the first leave in the game. Down he goes, transferred his stuff. We'll see what the share conditions are like in just a second. I think that was probably an automatic transfer, being as the timing when it came up, and very much outnumbered in the middle now, Team 1 in terms of air. Chris has a hell of a lot of interceptors in the field, although we've got some Swift Winds, I think I saw on the field there for the Carpenter, so he's made the transition to T2 Air. Very nice indeed, and I love this little fire base that's gone up from Thorimo. Look at this, he's landed some engineers down there, grabbed a land factory and 2 Gunthers, all teched up with surrounding T1 power gens, going to make that fire cheaper and faster, going after anything in his range. That's a really nice little plateau he's got there, but we've also got another base that's gone down up here for Jagleli, but he hasn't committed to it in such a big way. But now we've got some Renegades closing in on Jagleli's commander, going after the mobile anti-air. First of all, the banger, get rid of that. Now Jagleli's commander coming under fire. Also some Spectres coming in from Carpenter as well, but awful lot of air reinforcements coming in from Chris to defend his ally. He's taking quite a bit of damage, below 10,000 HP now. Finally manages to clear that up. And still this roving band of interceptors and jesters out for Chris, going around the map, causing all kinds of problems for Team 1. Now working on some of the T2 mexes on this side that were recently transferred to Sphinx's control with Aurora's loss, or his leaving. And it could really, Team 1 could really do with getting a handle on this situation, getting Swift Winds coming in one at a time. But I suggest it was probably a good idea to keep at least one T1 air factory just spitting out interceptors as well, to try and keep on top of this air situation. It'll be the one thing that really kills Team 1 off at this stage. Meanwhile, Mantis pushing south at great speed from Jagleli, taking out mass points as they go, and now closing in on Thorimo's main base. He's advancing with his ACU. Question is, has he got overcharge available to him? He seems to have pretty good rate of fire, so I'm suggesting he might have commander gun upgrades. We'll see about that. No, he has not. He's got the T2 engineering suite instead. Working away though on that Mantis. He's going to clear that up without any major problems. He's also got an auto gun in place. Some very nice defensive work there, but a lot of jesters coming in now for a direct assault on Thorimo's ACU. Going to have to pull back though. Too many Swift Winds in the area from the Carpenter, who might finally be able to get some kind of critical mass together in terms of air coverage in this early stage. Gunther's still wailing away from the central firebase. I love it. And the proximity range on that, if we take a look at it, is pretty extensive. So everything inside this central section, this circle, is vulnerable to that Gunther fire. We do, I don't know if he can actually hit that other bit of mountain. Yeah, he certainly can. Not currently going for it as yet though. So got quite a lot of T2 units in this little group from Jagleli. He's got hoplites, he's got rhinos, just mincing these little small bands of T1 units that are being flushed left from Sphinx, who's now currently fighting on 2 fronts, but has amassed a huge amount of spam down here on the right hand side. He's got a pretty grisly looking firebase in the middle, so he's relatively well protected. Got a lot of T2 PD in there, and also got some TAC missiles in place, so Team 2 going to have to be careful about snipes. Could potentially be a little bit vulnerable. I don't know whether they've seen it already, but Cookie Monster is working on buzzkills, getting that up, TND in place to secure it as best he can. But the trouble is for Sphinx is this side is completely unguarded. He's got a little bit of a run-by problem. That group of T1 and T2 units from Jagleli now pushing southeast straight into the main base. There's nothing in terms of defense, and also quite a large fight kicking off over on the right hand side as Cookie Monster brings in large groups of T1 to engage. Sphinx slowly retreating, it looks like, but I don't think he needs to. Perhaps just consolidating his troops, and finally Cookie Monster breaks back, realizes he hasn't got any real damage there. In fact, a large portion of that are archers, the mobile anti-air for UEF. Not going to get too much done with that. So finally, Sphinx counter pushes, but he's got a real problem in his base. That group of units from Jekleli breaking through into that main region, and it really does look like Sphinx is going to be cut off with his ACU up here, which was recently being pinged. It's a red marker. I'm guessing that was Team 2 pinging that. It's a kill mission. And look at this left-hand side and northern section up here, totally in the hands of Team 2. But both Team 1 and Team 2, their rearguard positions have made the transition to T3 air. There are ASFs on the field. Currently, Carpenter's ASFs trying to work on some of these renegades from Derrily. They're trying to thin out all of this stuff that's coming on Cookie Monster, but his commander's dangerously low, 2,700 hit points and falling, eating all kinds of Zooey fire. Nice overcharge there, picks up a few Ilshivas, down to 1,200 hit points, still retreating, 1,000 HP. I think the attack is just going to peter out, and Cookie Monster has escaped with the skin on his teeth. One Ilshiva tearing after him. Not going to make it. Literally just 400 or 500 HP there at one point. Going to survive with his life intact, just barely, but still this group of units from Jekleli making trouble at the back of Sphinx's base. He's lost all 4 of his core mass points, basically all of the original factories, bar this one in his starting area. Needs to be very careful, needs to have something from Thoromo or the Carpenter to deal with that. He's got enough on his hands. If he could grab this kill up here, that might just even it up, but I think it might be too late. Derrily has turned up with a bunch of Mantis, of course. Mantis with that lovely extra ability of, what is it, 0.5 build capacity or whatever, helping to rep that commander at the pace at which fingernails grow. Always helpful. Something is better than nothing. Under that shield for the moment, Cookie Monster looks relatively safe. And more T1 chasing T2 down here. Thoromo throwing what he's got at this problem from Jekleli. Still these units survive, and still they're going mass point hunting. Going to pick up another one of Thoromo's back here. And this forward one now looking slightly vulnerable as well. In fact, they could go and complete the entire circuit the way it's looking. But a few C units on the field, at least, for Team 1. But there's not a great deal. You've got some subs over here, some attack boats with shards, a frigate kind of thing, but nothing that's going to have any real measured impact on the game. Of course, Aeon at the rear is not going to any kind of cruise missile action that he can employ to bombard these guys effectively at range with those cruisers. Cookie Monster surviving another small engagement. Sphinx really lacking units now, and now he's in real trouble. You've got 2 Mongoose sitting down here at the bottom for Cookie Monster, just wailing away on those units of Sphinxes. Pick up another mass point. I think it's fair to say this whole little base looks lost for the moment, although an Ilshiva has just poured off the pad. His T2 factory here could do with sending those units in to go after those Mongoose, but Sphinx was doing so well he just couldn't contend with that gap that was opened up. Still those units for Jekleli are alive and kicking. A nice little push as well happening here, so Jekleli really everywhere at the moment. Large proportion of the map under his direct control. Still its firebase is in play though for Thoromo, but just not going to get anything done. He has managed to wipe out this upper plateau that was under Jekleli's control. For the moment it looks a little bit tricky, but the shields have gone down. Cookie Monster is under attack. He's not going to get out of this one. Spectre's in all over the shop, or is he? No, he isn't. I thought he might have had enough flak there to survive, but that at least alleviates some pressure on Sphinx now that he is going to go down. Of course, I think we saw that auto transfer was on, so it's not going to immediately make things easier. Is it on or not? We'll have to see. Taking a while to go over. Yeah, there we go. So it switches over to Chris's control. That's actually a lot of extra mass for the rearguard position, who's of course under no pressure at all. He's literally just running support. We've got a Quantum Gateway online starting to produce support commanders. I like to see games where the tech reaches that kind of level and still this group of units is surviving, but not for long I don't think. A whole group of Spectres now on them from the Carpenter, a whale away, and finally finish off those rhinos and the Mantis. There's a lot more units up here as well for Jukleli. Thoromo turtling a little bit. It's got a few T1 PD in there, but not any great shield coverage. Trying to secure these passes to make sure no more run-bys are going to happen. But all these mass points back in Sphinx's hands. I'd like to see him get some factory spam on and counter-attack to finally wipe out this base now that there's no ACU sitting in the middle of it defending it. Needs to get as many of these mexes out from Chris's control as possible. Once again, green writing really hard to see on this map. In fact, you know what? Let's just very quickly change that up. Where is the... There we go. Allies will go red. So, blue. What do we think? I think let's go dark blue. Does that show up? I think that's going to show up. Should be a bit better. Anyway, back to observer mode. And a whole bunch of Vipers in here now from Jukleli. Going to range anything that's up here. Some zappers going down to try and counteract that. But I think potentially these two PD are going to go down. Although focusing on the wall sections first. Whether or not that's intentional, I don't know. It might just be the way wall sections doing their job blocking that. But I always thought the trajectory for TAC missile or mobile missile launchers would allow those to bypass that. I think that was actually the wall section, so that was definitely a misclick. You saw them pause there when that went down. Now a full-on attack, Mantis-wise, coming in from Jukleli. Mantis in the front, eating up all that fire, rocket bots and rhinos in behind. Both those front two PD are down. Cerberus turret goes down as well. A whole bunch of build capacity is about to get wiped out. Indeed, it has been. Very little on the field to defend against this now. Could potentially take a great deal of damage. There is a couple of Spectres in the area from the Carpenter. He's going to be able to slow that down. But a lot of ASFs coming in as well from Chris, so any air power is going to be countered pretty quickly. Shield gen down, T2 power generator down, another T2 power generator potentially about to go down. We'll see what that's going to do to Thoromo's power. That's going to put him very close to the breadline indeed. In fact, he's leeching off his teammates. You can see he's basically out there. Needs to get that back under control ASAP now that that threat has been countered. But that's a grisly little group of units in the middle from Jukleli pushing down this middle section. And Thoromo is in here with his ACU. Just took a volley from these Corsairs coming in from Chris. Down to around 11,000 HP. He's going to try and head off some of these units with some units of his own in the meantime, but he's still under Corsair attack into the yellow, 7,800 hit points, and retreating in the face of this overwhelming horde of units from Jukleli that aren't going to leave him alone. Surely this is him done for. There isn't enough air support from the Carpenter. Needs to be out here with his own ASFs protecting his teammate, who seems lost in a valley of death. Into the red, 200 hit points, kaflam, wham, bam, thank you ma'am. He goes down at minute 25. Another scalp for Team 2. Another section of the map that will be ACU less or not controlled. Like what's going on down here, a T2 naval factory from Sphinx trying to mix it up. Of course, he's going Seraphim. He'll be able to get those cruisers in place. But look at this. What have we got here? An airdrop full of support commanders laden with deceivers on there as well. So there's some cloaking action going on. If I flick over to Team 1, he has no idea. And he's got radar coverage. You can see these units here. Can't see those at all. No, now he can. They've just popped in to range. Deceivers not doing their job. Guessing probably having some power issues up there at the back. But to be fair, it's not a problem for the moment. It's not causing any issues whatsoever. And I think he's going to make a landfall or seafall wherever it is he's going. There is some pinging going down, but there's no ASFs at all in the area. There's some back here, and the Carpenter's being awfully slow. If these were dispatched earlier, these could have been shot down. I think they're probably going to make landfall. It's going to be close. They're in the area. It depends how far Chris wants to push this. It's going to drop them off in the water. Indeed they are, and of course the deceivers can't go on water, so they promptly get wiped. But it doesn't matter, they're under the sea now and immediately start production of a Monkey Lord. Very nice indeed, and that's going to be tough to stop. There are some submarines here that need to be moved in. What does this actually look like on the intel for Team 1? Nothing at all. There's no sonar coverage there at all. So they really are lacking on intel, and that could prove costly indeed for Team 1. All of these units up here from Thorimo were transferred to Carpenter's control. There are T3 units now on the ground for Jakleli. He's got a whole bunch of bricks and a Monkey Lord heading towards this main base. There are no ACUs to get here for Team 2, but he can still wipe that base off the face of the earth. A large engagement happening down here on the right between Chris and Sphinx. Sphinx could potentially have the better of it. No, actually, I tell a lie. There's far too many Lobos in there. Surely, as they're bunching up on the side, these Lobos should take out a large groups of units. Well, there's a bunch of Ilshivas in there, and only one Mongoose left. The Ilshivas might just get the better of it. So some of those units will survive, get in and finally finish off this base. They might stand a chance. This ping's going down here, but look how quickly those support commanders have constructed that Monkey Lord. It's practically done. It hits 40,000 of its 45,000 HP. Hideous indeed. Sphinx is out here with his ACU building a torpedo launcher. That's not going to do anything in time. I like what he was thinking. Came down here, built a sonar first of all, and Sphinx pinging, asking for the submarines to come over. They've been here the whole time. If they'd have come over a little bit earlier, they might have been able to do something. Although support commander is very tanky indeed, and they built that in no time at all. Chris must have a pretty good economy. See how he's doing on reclaim. That's actually 307 flat mass, not reclaiming anything, so he's outstripping everyone except for Derrily. Actually, no, he is outstripping Derrily as well, because he was reclaiming. He's on 230 mass, so a pretty significant increase there in eco for Team 2. And now submarines coming in, trying to engage the support commanders, but a harms is being rapidly fabricated, and that will secure this entire area. There's nothing down here for Team 1 to deal with that. One submarine down, another one down. Look how quickly it eats through those things. It'll be able to dispatch that torpedo launcher as well, and the new one that's being constructed. The ping is going down. People on Team 1 are aware of this Monkey Lord. Whether or not they'll be able to do anything about it is another matter. I don't see anything back here that will be able to deal with it. He's got a T3 air factory, but he hasn't been producing restorers. There have been the occasional ASF and a few Spectres coming in to try and put some damage on that Monkey Lord as it scales the beach and goes straight into the heart of the Carpenter's base. Surely that's going to be him out of the game. That base has been wiped off the face of the planet as well with that attack with that Monkey Lord. I think this is going to be game over. Look how secure this is. We've got two harms down here now. We've got Myrmidons, the SAMs for Cybran in place, and a Control K goes down from the Carpenter. He knows he's down and out. So a beautiful little drop there from Chris. Wraps this game up, I think, around the 31-minute mark. A well-played GG goes out from Sphinx as well. He knows he's beaten. Nothing he can do against these odds. Now, his commander in the water is going for a little bit of a stroll. It's nice to have a dip. Normally don't quit out, but respect to the decent players. Yeah, I'll save you some time. Indeed, you can. I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to salvage this, and he knows it. But, yep, the ACU drop, Sphinx obviously means SCU drop, but very nice indeed. It was very well played. They were quite lucky, of course. A few ASFs in this area and a little bit more attention to intel would have saved that from happening, but I think the result was inevitable. The Monkey Lord had come down here from Jakleli, cleared out all of this, and it would have just been Carpenter and Sphinx versus overwhelming odds anyway. That Monkey Lord would have surely finished off all the Sphinx units on the mainland. So it was game either way, but a very nice way to end it. Well done, Chris. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, more to come from me in the immediate future, but for now, in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile signing out.